Hello students, today we will study Geography, Chapter 11, Life in Temperate Grasslands. In this chapter, students, we will learn about location of temperate grasslands, prairies and veld, land and climate, vegetation and wildlife, economy and life of the people, transport and cities. Students, as earlier you have studied about the three heat zones, so the prairies and veld are the examples of temperate zone. So in this chapter we will study about the life of the people of these two grasslands. The temperate regions are neither too hot nor too cold and receive precipitation mostly in winters, and they are known by different names in different parts of the world. Can you tell their name? Prairies. Yes, the prairies are a vast stretch of level or gently rolling temperate grasslands found in the central part of North America. In other words, temperate grasslands are known as prairies in North America. These are famous grasslands of Canada and USA, which are located between the Rockies in the west and the Great Lake in the east. They cover the provinces of Alberta, Manitoba, Saskatchewan, and Ontario in Canada. The northern part of the prairies slopes towards the Arctic Ocean, while the southern part slopes towards the Gulf of Mexico. The prairies in the USA are watered by the Mississippi, Missouri, Ohio, and Dakota rivers. The Canadian prairies are drained by the river Saskatchewan and its tributaries. About climate, the summers are hot and winters are extremely cold in prairies. The northern part is open to cold polar winds, and thus the winter temperature falls below freezing point. Snowfall is experienced in winters. A local warm wind called Chinook blows down the eastern slopes of the Rocky Mountains, raising winter temperature in this region. The average annual rainfall is about 50 centimeter, which occur mostly in summers. Natural vegetation and wildlife. The natural vegetation consists mainly of tall to short grasses, shrubs, and a few trees like willows, alders, and poplars. Wildlife in the prairies include bison, badgers, coyotes, prairie dogs, antelopes, jackrabbits, and rattlesnakes. Eagles, hawks, falcons are the birds found here. Indiscriminate hunting of bison has greatly reduced their numbers, rendering them almost extinct. About economy, the prairies were home to Native American Indians before the arrival of the Europeans, and they used to live by hunting and gathering food. Now, the people living in prairies are engaged in agriculture, cattle rearing, and mining. Agriculture is the most important occupation of this region, so the prairies are rightly known as the granary of the world. Wheat is the most important crop cultivated here. Fodder crop like alfalfa is also grown here. The entire process of farming, plowing, seeding, harvesting, threshing, and packing is done with the help of machines. The combine harvester is a huge machine that reaps, threshes, and sacks wheat in a single operation. Scientific methods of farming like rotation of crops, contour plowing, and strip cropping are practiced here to maintain the fertility of the soil and reduce soil erosion. Contour plowing means is the farming practice of planting across a slope following its elevation contour lines. Another important economic activity of prairies is cattle rearing. It is carried in the western part as the region is less fertile and hilly. Cattle are reared in large farms called ranches, and these ranches are managed like factories. The main workers on a ranch are the cowboys who herd the cattle all the year round. Canada and the USA together are the major exporters of dairy products. The main meat packing centers are Chicago, Kansas City, and Omaha. This region is also rich in a variety of minerals and power resources. Transport and cities. The flat and level land has facilitated the development of a good network of road and railway in this region. Railways have also helped in transporting the farm products to the consuming centers and the port towns. And inland waterways are used for carrying bulky goods and people. Most of the towns are connected with air service. In the prairies, most of the towns are big railway junctions, for example, Chicago. Winnipeg is called the gateway to the prairie. Now about veld. They lie between the Drakensberg mountain in the east and the Kalahari desert in the west. About the land, the veld lies on a plateau which forms a series of steppes. Lying just west of the Drakensberg, the elevation in the high veld varies from 1200 meter to 1800 meter. The high veld descends to the mid veld with elevations between 1200 meter and 600 meter towards the south and northeast. Then in the northeast, the mid veld descends into low veld with elevations between 600 meter and 150 meter. Some of the rivers that flow through the veld are the Limpopo, the Sabi, and the Orange, and its tributaries, and the Vaal. There are waterfalls where the rivers descend the steppes formed by the plateau. Climate. The velds have a mild climate due to the influence of the Indian Ocean. Winters are cold and dry, and summers are short and warm. Temperatures vary between 5 degrees centigrade to 10 degrees centigrade, and July is the coldest month. Frost occurs here for some days during winters. Natural vegetation and wildlife. The landscape is dominated by grasses and bushes. Scattered trees are found along the stream banks. Acacia, morula are grown in the high veld, and in the middle veld grows red grass. Lions, leopards, cheetahs, giraffes, springboks are the some animals that include in the wildlife in the veld. People and their economic activities of veld. The region experiences low rainfall, So, the main occupation of the people of the veld is cattle rearing and mining. Sheep rearing is practiced in the high veld. Sheep are reared for wool. The merino sheep are of fine quality and yield fine quality wool. Mohair is obtained from the Angora goats, and South Africa is the largest producer of mohair in the world and is the second largest exporter of merino wool in the world after Australia. As the region is rich in minerals, such as gold, uranium, diamond, coal, and iron ore, mining is an important activity here. Kimberley are world famous diamond mines. Agro-based industries in the region include dairy, food processing, woolen textiles, and leather. And now the last topic of veld is transport and cities. The veld region also has a good network of roads and railways. The major towns have domestic and international airports. The rivers are not navigable due to a number of waterfalls. South Africa has three capitals: Pretoria, Cape Town, and Bloemfontein. So, Pretoria is a major center for iron and steel and railway equipment. Johannesburg, the gold capital of the world, is an important industrial and commercial center.